Greetings and welcome to episode 39 of the Lott Carey WISE Digital Couch. My name is Doriel and is Larrier, and I hail from Brooklyn, New York, Salem Missionary Baptist Church. And tonight is Testimonies and Thanksgiving with Sister Terry Bradley-Dunn. But before we get to that, please allow me to welcome you from our leadership of Lott Carey, and that is the Executive Secretary Treasurer, who is the Reverend Emmett L. Dunn, our president, the Reverend Dr. Gina Stewart, our first vice president, Dr. Jesse Williams, our second vice president, Dr. James Victor, and the leadership of WISE, which is the Women in Service Everywhere, that is the Reverend Dr. Angelita Clifton, our first vice president, the Reverend Dr. Brenda McBurrow, our second vice president, Sister Lynette Richardson, Brother Gabriel from Men on Missions, who is the team leader, as well as Reverend Brittany Mingo, who is the youth development leader. Before we get into our conversation, please know that there is the registration for our annual convention is open on the Lott Carey website at lottcarey.org, lottcarey.org, and we look forward to seeing you at the General Convention in August. Please welcome me, and you know what to do. This is Thursdays in Black, so I do hope that you have your black, and ladies, if you have your pearls on, as well as you have your mug, because tonight is going to be a really great conversation. We will be welcomed in this chat with Sister Terry Bradley-Dunn, and please represent in the comments. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please drop them in the comments, either on Facebook or on YouTube, as well as if you are a part of ministries, please tell us the city and the state and the name of the church that you represent. We would love to give you a greeting for this evening. So welcome to our digital couch, Sister Terry Bradley-Dunn.
Good evening, my sisters, brothers, all that have taken time to join us this evening on the couch. I am Terry Bradley-Dunn. I'm a member of Watts Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. My pastor is Harry L. White Jr., and it is a pleasure to be here with you all tonight to share my testimony and my experience with Lott Carey. So excited to have been invited. Thank you.
Excellent. We are very glad that you're here. So once again, we'll be looking for people giving greetings. And if you're a part of Watts Chapel, please let us know that your sister has fans with her. And of course, if you're just part of the Lott Carey family, let us know, because everybody is what? Somebody in Lott Carey. So we're going to start this evening with Testimonies and Thanksgiving. That is the series that we're doing during this year. We want to hear from people who mull about and make their position known because they care about Lott Carey and because they care about the work that Lott Carey does. Oh, we already have someone. Who is that? Excellent. So greetings, Reverend Nell S. Hinton from Bethlehem Baptist Church of Raleigh, North Carolina. Pastor Walter S. Dozier. Thank you. Hey, Lady Van, good to see you. So I'll be bringing some of these comments up in a moment. So our first question for tonight, because we definitely want to hear what makes Lott Carey so special, but what makes it special prior to you becoming a part of Lott Carey. And that's what I called passports to purpose and positioning for this evening. So how does global missions help accomplish the values of Lott Carey Women in Service Everywhere? For you?
Absolutely. Great question. I'm happy to start with that question. And I think it's a number one question. I'll go back to my own experience. I'm a member of Watts Chapel, as I've already indicated. And I want to pause before I go through the rest of my answer. I feel so supported already, but to have Nell on this call, who is a sorority sister, and I initially invited all of them to our 31-day global prayer, and she has been with us ever since. So Nell, thank you for being here. But global missions and how is it important? So I was actually really engaged with my church with missions. But before I've been a member of Watch Chapel now over 20 years. But when I became a member of Watts Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, our church had never gone on an international missions trip. And I had already started doing that in my own personal life. And so, being a new member at Watts Chapel, as I began to explore ministries, I began to engage more in our missionary circle. And in doing that, I was learning and I was hearing about Lott Carey, and the great work that this particular ministry is doing. And so I became so engaged. I was like, okay, let me go to one of these Lott Carey conferences. And so my first conference was, in August, and I'm trying to remember where it was. It may have been when it could have been Louisville. I can't remember, but it was about, oh gosh, many years ago now, maybe less than 10. But I came to a conference and I heard more. And because I was already doing international mission trips on my own and on my own personal time with other organizations, I was trying to understand how could I engage with Lott Carey and its mission and my church, because we were so involved with Lott Carey, and I started to educate myself. And in doing so, I started going on mission trips with Lott Carey. So my first mission trip with Lott Carey was actually in Nigeria. It was the most rewarding experience. Oh my goodness, it enhanced my spiritual life in so many ways. And I had an opportunity to share rooms with Dr. Angie and Angelita Clifton. We became like best friends and was able to share what God was doing with us in this space. And so important because, not everyone can go or want to go, but I was able to really see how we could support not only women in service everywhere through Lott Carey, but women in service everywhere through our individual churches. And so in coming to Lott Carey, I was going to those morning workshops where we would do 7 to 9 o'clock talking about missions and trips. And I really came to Lott Carey to educate myself because I wanted my church to be engaged. And I just know that God's children, we're everywhere. And it's not just in our neighborhoods, it's not just in our country, but God wants us to be, he wants us to be intentional about everyone, all of his children, wherever they are. So I could talk about it forever, but I'll pause and see if you want to get a question in.
Excellent. That's great. So you said you went to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Who is the partner?
You're talking about a pastor?
Right, in Nigeria.
Yes, Dr. Kenneth
Ibong?
Ebon, yes, and we've become favorite friends. Every time I go to, we'll do some noting online and social media. But every time now I come to a Lott Carey conference, I seek him out. I seek him out. I ask about all the people that we've met, about the churches, how the members are doing. But that morning breakfast, that women's breakfast, prayer breakfast that we give leadership. He tends to be on stage at some point, but as soon as the benediction, I go straight to him. Oh my goodness, absolutely love him and all the people. And they were so gracious to us when we were in Nigeria. We got top notch. Just the way they cared for us. We had an opportunity to go into their home and have a special meal. They took care of us in regard to everywhere, made sure we got to, our transportation was taken care of. We were well cared for, safety, nothing was a concern for us. And so we absolutely love him.
Excellent. Thank you. That did provide a whole lot of information. So Reverend Ebong, we love you. We love you. We love you and all the work that you're doing in Nigeria. So let's take a look at an engagement story with your church that prompted you to connect and commit to the work of Lott Carey. So you said that you were already doing some missional work with your church. You got involved in the missionary uh, uh, ministry within your church. So prior to coming to Lott Carey, what were some of either like the global or even like the national work that your missionary society was doing? And
Yes.
then how did you sort of take another step or another leap when you joined, or if it was a part of another organization?
Yeah, it's basically twofold. And I was actually on the board for Habitat for Humanity here in Wake County, and I was on the board for 10 years. So another passion for me is Habitat for Humanity. And so I learned how to do missions initially before I learned about Lott Carey, and even before I became a member of Watts Chapel. I had already gone on my first international missions trip through Habitat. And former President Jimmy Carter, a lot of people think he's the founder of Habitat for Humanity, but he's not. He just was a church member with some Miller Fuller, who actually started Habitat for Humanity. They were members of the same church. And being on the board, going to leadership meetings, et cetera, I learned how to do missions. And in 2002, I actually went to Durban, South Africa with Habitat for Humanity, Jimmy Carter Project, and we built 100 homes in 1 week. And went to India and just had an opportunity to travel on that project. And with that project team, we would have, depending on where, volunteers from around the world. We would have 7,000 plus volunteers because we had to get 100 homes built in 1 week. And we had to start at 7 o'clock on a Monday, and all the homes had to be complete and ready for dedication at 4:30 on Friday. And as you all know, Habitat for Humanity is a Christian-based organization as well. So at 4:30, not only did we present a key to their home, but we presented them a Holy Bible. So not to talk too much about Habitat, but to tie it all together, I had gone on some trips, some international trips. And so when I became a member of Watts Chapel, I was like, how can I engage my church? And as I said earlier, I started engaging in the missionary circle at my church, and hearing them talk about Lott Carey and the work and the service that we were doing in Lott Carey. And so it piqued my interest because I'm now looking for an opportunity for, how can we do this? So as we were beginning to research, as I started to, do my research and understand more about Lott Carey, we got a new pastor, and I went to my pastor and I said, is it okay if we prepare and go on a international missions trip?
Wow.
And he was like, absolutely. And, the conversation was a little longer than that, but he was so supportive, so supportive. And before I think I went on my first trip with Lott Carey, actually my church led them on a trip to Haiti. There's a member in my church that would go to Ghana every year. Every year, this member would go to Ghana. And then during our Black History Month, 1 year he did a presentation about going to Ghana. And I think it was more, I'm not, well, I won't get into kind of what his remit was, but I was trying to focus on the passport and the faith. How can we get the faith and make sure that it's in that regard? And so I remember going up to him in an African-American event one February, and I says, we're going to go to Ghana in 2014. So this was 5 years prior to 2014 because I wanted to prepare. And actually what we did is, because our church had never gone on a trip before, and I'm still learning and trying to figure out how can I transfer the knowledge from Habitat for Humanity to our own church. We actually went to Haiti, and I was like, this would be a great opportunity do something on a smaller scale before we just cross, and members have never gone on a trip. We can educate them and train them. And what we actually did, we did do some in-depth training, brought in a missionary to talk about just what it means about being a missionary, and an African American missionary, that cultural, talked about, she went all the way back and talked about how important it is for us and how long we have been going on missions trips internationally. So gave us some history in that regard. There is a gentleman that lives here locally, here in Raleigh, Hearts and Hands for Haiti. He's originally from Canada, moved to the U.S., but God gave him a heart for Haiti, and he was one of our church partners. Just, we have been supporting him for years in his missions and the work that he was doing in Haiti. We brought him in, and he gave us his testimony, and how, it wasn't intentional, but how God chose this for him. And so we just, started on a smaller scale. We did the Haiti trip, and then by then we had 5 years to plan. And then here comes me coming to Lott Carey, hearing and learning through Lott Carey. And so we did go to Ghana in 2014, but by then I had already engaged in Lott Carey, started to go on trips, and felt like and pull my husband in with me. So if I was going to go international, he was going with me. So he was kind of my right hand person. He's a deacon in our church, and was just all engaged, and kind of how it started. And we just love it. Some of our activities have been, we did VBS during the week. Our church then in 2011, we launched Awana, which is a children's ministry, just like VBS.
Right. So VBS, for those of you who may have been away for a while, Vacation Bible School, but Awana, what is the definition of, or the acronym Awana mean?
So Awana is taken from 2 Timothy 2:15, to study to show thyself approved. And that Awana basically is an opportunity to teach children, and basically teaching them to become, to know, love, and serve God through the scripture of 2 Timothy 2:15. Yes.
Got it. I just tried to. So there we go. Awana, right, an international evangelical Christian nonprofit organization.
Yes.
In child and youth discipleship. Excellent.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm gonna ask, you've definitely given us a whole lot of information. Let me get us to the next part of our conversation. So you've definitely shared how God, in essence, positioned you with the ministry that you've had with Habitat for Humanity, which already has a global focus.
Yes.
It already has a God planned and purposed focus to, let's say, house the body, the mind, and the soul.
Yes.
I like that. If that was not a part of the branding, it should be.
Yes.
And then it seems like you should have added another layer when you connected with a ministry in your church. But then it sounds like you took your church literally above and beyond the call of duty, because you transported them, or you facilitated a transportation across the world.
Yes.
So then your intention to go to Ghana by way of Haiti, and I'm sure the families in Haiti, just because of the economic imbalance that it has for the past 20 years, really, really appreciated your presence, and then definitely prepared you to go to Ghana, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
how has that sense of urgency in terms of the ministry that God wants us to do? I think you've answered it, but I'm going to ask you in a different way. How do you see it moving in the future, right? So you started in Haiti by way of Ghana. You then went to Ghana. How many other, let's say, trips has your church taken you? Have you taken your church? And then, of course, the work with Lott Carey Have they gone just with you or just with your church, or have they gone with Lott Carey? Right. So
Yes.
the impact
So
of Carey been on the travel.
absolutely, absolutely great question. So I also went to Kenya with Lott Carey, roommate again with Sister Angelita Clifton, and I was just so excited about what God was teaching me through this ministry, because again, I'm like, how can we translate? How can we engage? And we also had a trip where Lott Carey went to, I believe it was Puerto Rico, and we had members that had signed up for that. So our church is heavily engaged. Even our missionary leader now, her husband is actually the recording secretary right now, as I am for WISE. Reverend Oakley, Michael Oakley. He is recording secretary for our men's at men's ministry with Lott Carey. Thank you, Nell, for putting that acronym. Approved workmen are not ashamed. 2 Timothy 2:15, and that is exactly how we train our kids and our youth. But so we had started to get our church to also look at trips that Lott Carey were doing. For just the body, where it was kind of a commingled men and women. And I think that we had a group of people to go to Puerto Rico. And then in regard to our church, we went to Haiti 3 or more times. And I can tell you on this call, don't get me to talking about Haiti, because my heart is broken for Haiti. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I can get emotional about Haiti. But the beauty is, when our church went to Haiti, we worked through another organization to get us to Haiti that helped us with on-the-ground planning, etc. And we were taken, the organization that I used to help us get connected, he called and he says, would your church like to go kind of further into Haiti? He says a lot of the missionaries will come to Haiti and stop at Port-au-Prince. And he said, Haiti is so beautiful. He says, based on the schedule and what you all have asked to do, if you all want to see more of Haiti, he says it's going to be about a 4.5 bus ride. But if you all want to see more of Haiti, would you like to do it? Got with the team? Absolutely. And so we went to Lakai, a village right outside of Lakai, which is the second largest city.
Yes.
And we were introduced to Grace Community and Pastor Delcy. And on that trip, we had 17 members that went with us on our first missions trip. And Watch Chapel was so excited. Oh my goodness, we were so excited about going. Grace Community Church, Lakai, we fell in love. They fell in love with us and we fell in love with them. And we, they loved on us. And one of I mentioned the missionary that Hearts and Hands for Haiti, he did some training, some cultural training with us. And we had gotten into, some passport talk. And he said, make sure you keep copies of your passport. He said, getting into Haiti, it's going to be easy to get into Haiti, but it's going to be hard to get out because you look like the Haitians. Whereas if you go to Africa, you can differentiate. But it was like, keep your passport. So we got there and they couldn't believe we were Americans. We loved on them and they loved on us. But they said to us that Sunday after church, and he was like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Wait, they didn't believe you from the U.S.
They didn't believe we were
Where
from
did they
the
think
U.S.
you were from?
Because you know what they told? Yeah, you know what they told us? They said, we're not used to people that look like us to come see about us.
That's actually what the sister who leads Mission of Grace, she talks about when we're at convention. She's always saying, oh my goodness, we usually see people of other backgrounds come,
Yes.
but we very rarely see people that
Yes.
look like us to come
Us.
in and to try to support and as you said, love on us. So congratulations on
Yes.
being a part of the community that really
Yes.
reaches out and comes alongside. That's extremely powerful. So, folks, if you have not seen, Mission of Grace is in the chat, or it's actually on the screen, and it'll be in the chat on YouTube. So please contact them, or if you do want to support, they're constantly looking for additional levels of support.
Yeah.
So thank you for being that
Yeah.
person.
And we'll check that link because Pastor Delcy, it can get confused with another, but we'll check it and make sure we have it, the
Okay.
right link in there. But um, it blossomed from there. And I will say we were back in Haiti right when Haiti started to experience some unrest because we loved Haiti. We pretty much had adopted that church. We had started putting them in our budget where we were sending them monies and to support and those kinds of things. But fast forward, my pastor had never gone on an international trip.
Hmm.
And his daughter, who was in high school, she was wanting to go every year. And finally, she was a rising senior and she wanted to go on a trip. And so, of course, his daughter, in order for her to go, he was like, okay, I gotta go on a trip.
Wow.
And I told my pastor, I said, why this is so important. You don't have to go on a missions trip every year with us, but it's important for you to know when we're on a trip, what a day in the life of a mission trip look like. You'll know how to pray for us differently when you touch the soil of Haiti. It was a Haiti trip. I said, you'll have some sermons that you've not even known that you are to preach. You're going to have a life experience. And so, and I carved out time for he and Pastor Delcy to have some pastor time for them to talk about ministry in a way that I don't even know how they talked about ministry. And it was just so amazing for my pastor. And again, coming from Haiti, we've been able to go to Belize. We took our church, as we've already said, to Ghana. We did a Puerto Rico trip as well. And let's see, Belize, Haiti, Ghana, trying to think of Whitechapel and not mix some of those trips up with my personal trips. But, I've gone to India and other places, but I have a passion for it. And it's not, I can tell you, I actually want to go to Poland to help with Ukraine because I see so many people that give back to our people. And we sometimes got to make sure we're giving back to other people that didn't look like us because we're supported. Even with Habitat, I see sometimes, many times, not sometimes, I see volunteers building and doing those sweat hours, and they don't always look like us. But we're doing good because we have an organization, we have a ministry like Lott Carey that understands the importance of ministry. And that was what drew me to Lott Carey because I was like, oh, once I came and I met you all in person and at a conference for myself, I was like, Carey gets it. I can learn from Carey because I don't know anything and I need somebody to teach me.
So given that you've definitely been immersed with countries and continents of underrepresented groups as it pertains to the support that the United States or people from the United States can give, and so you said Kenya, you said Nigeria, you went to Haiti, you went to Ghana, you've been to Puerto Rico, and then you spoke about some other places as well. Lott Carey, of course, as we all know, we do what we can to come alongside countries that don't necessarily get the support. And so we are, of course, the hands and the feet on the ground to make sure that that support, that love and God's love can be seen
Yes.
and be viewed. And so where we are now, as you said, we're doing okay. We are, but of course, there could be more. We can be getting more people to get their hands and feet. And if they are not able to move physically, then their prayers, of course, as we do with the 31 days of prayer, as we do with the monthly prayer call, as we do with the spring session and the annual session, We have a number of people in a variety of levels of engagement to
Yeah.
participate in the support. And so where we are in 2024 is great work. We are
Mhm.
definitely and exuding the prayers and the intentions of Lott Carey,
Yes.
of the minister Lott Carey.
Yes.
Where do you see us, um, or where would you like to see this ministry operating on one level higher
Yeah.
than it is currently? Let's wrap up with that question.
That's a great question. That's a great question. And I will say we're doing better than good. Like Carrie knows what it's doing, and like Carrie has been amazing. And I tell people about like Carrie all the time. And the fact that it's us as a people leading ministry, because there's so many organizations that go on mission trips and they have different reasons for doing it. But I like the fact that we carry the gospel with us, and all of the churches that like Carrie has planted in the various countries that we have touched. Um, it's about ministry. It's about the love of Jesus, and all of that. So there's so many organizations out there that can learn from like Carrie. So I just wanted to say we're doing better than good. We're just like, how do we just continue to go and do what God is calling us and go at a higher level? I'll take it from that perspective. There are two things, and I've thought about these two things. Oh my gosh, the first year that I participated in the 31 days global prayer, it was the most beautiful experience. Most beautiful. I could barely get through any of those prayers without crying my eyes out. I even told my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, because we pray a lot and we pray for each other and but we actually, based on our prayer that we do with the 31 days of prayer, I use that model for us to start a prayer circle in our sorority. And we use that
Yes.
model. I invited them to Lott Carey 31 days of prayer. Now I even have volunteers engaged that's being a part of that. And I'm gonna get to your question in a second. But what I wanted to say is that I've used opportunities for us to learn from each other. And so, one of the suggestions that I've put forward to Lott Carey WISE, and Lott Carey in general can benefit from this, is an NGO. We do so much great work. NGO, a non-governmental organization. And through my sorority, we're the only sorority of the 9 divine, from my understanding, unless something has changed. But every year we go to the United Nations, and we're able to speak on the floor and have a voice in what is happening to women around the world.
May I add,
Yes.
there's another organization, not part of the Divine
Uh-huh.
Nine, but I
Uh-huh.
would be remiss if I did not
Uh-huh.
mention
Please add it.
National
Yes.
Council of Negro Women, which also
Yes.
has a seat at
Yes.
the Okay, continue.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for bringing, because that's a major organization that even is a partner of ours. And because of the great work that Lott Carey is doing and have done, it would be good and it would behoove us to um, make that connection, because that partnership would give us, as an organization, like Carey organization, it could be a platform, a space for us, because we're already doing the work, we're doing the service, we have input, we know what needs to happen in these countries just based on the work that we've done, or making sure that making sure that some groups are not being left out. Having that NGO, being able to go to the United Nations and have a voice on decisions that are being made about women around the world when it comes to WISE, and then like Carey in general, can benefit to make sure that people are treated humanely, make sure that we are addressing the issues through a larger voice. I just believe it would spotlight and could even grow what we're already doing. So I believe that NGO is critical, and it is great to have other partners. We don't have to, in 2024, we don't have to do it by ourselves, and we can use other organizations that we're already doing and partnering with, but look for those platforms that can help us spotlight what we're doing and can give us a greater voice at their expense. And then a second would be the 31-day global prayer. And I started off talking about how special that was the first time I participated in it. I often think about, these are wonderful prayers, but wouldn't it be really cool with technology, the WhatsApps or whatever? There are so many ways to connect that these women would not have to pay to get to these prayer calls. And I'm like, wouldn't it be pretty cool if the women in Kenya, the women in Nigeria that's connected with Lott Carey, if they could be a part of these 31 days?
Oh, wait a minute. But well, okay. So for those of you who are watching, because sometimes there are people who are not familiar with what we're talking about. In March of every well, let me put this up first. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Sister Nell. It's been a life-changing experience. 31 days has opened so many hearts for global empowerment for women. Thank you very much. So, again, for those of you who may be watching on the replay, that in March of every year, Lott Carey Women in Service Everywhere, we focus on every day during that month. We take a different country across the world, and there is a representative, if you will, a liaison, a member of a church or one of our partner organizations, and they craft a particular prayer according to the needs of that particular country. And I'm always amazed at how, based on the politics, the economics, the social strata, the caste system, what the needs of these particular countries are. And as we are praying for them,
Yes.
towards the end, they are praying for us, because
Yes.
our country, the United States, is always a part of that.
Yes.
And it's always
Absolutely.
incredible that no matter what the country, no matter what the continent, the needs of devastation of the physical, social, economic, emotional well-being of women across the world, women and children, is unfathomable. But what is interesting is that call is actually on free conference call. It's on free conference call, and there are, I guess, international numbers or numbers that we can actually send off to people in other countries. So moving forward, let's I guess do more marketing about that, to let people know in the other countries that they can participate. And let me just say, because I know a little bit about technology, because I did this. I happened to have, it was last month, during 2 of the days, the prayers were so convicting to me. I actually had my phone on, I had it on speaker, and then I actually went live in Facebook.
Mhm.
So that people, wherever you are, to your own networks, if you have a YouTube channel, you have an IG channel, what have you, you can actually share this. You have a WhatsApp, you can actually share this and then get it recorded to send out to other people. So, just in response to that, I think, that's a very easy way in to do that. Excellent suggestion.
Absolutely. Very life-changing. And anything that we can do to engage our sisters around the world, especially for the countries that we have identified for those 31 days, for them to be a part of it. So those are kind of the two things that came to mind, because I just know how both of those opportunities have blessed me. And yeah, we just want to get more people engaged. And sometimes we just kind of have to tell them and show them how to do it and how to be a part of.
Excellent. I think if nothing else, the global shutdown that we've had a couple of years ago taught us that, the world is actually a lot smaller
Yes.
than we actually think. And
Yes.
literally and figuratively, with the touch of a button, we make the great oceans
Yes.
actually rivers and brooks in terms of connectivity. So,
And that is so true. I can tell you, I just got back from Madrid, Spain, and literally went to Madrid and met someone from Cary, North Carolina. I was like, oh, I had to come to Madrid to meet a neighbor. So small.
Oh, Carrie is next to where you live?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
So yes, so with Lott Carey, with Women in Service Everywhere, with the global mission projects that we focus on every day of our year, and we will be again communing in the next couple of weeks together with a number of these global partners, and with the members of our organization coming together once again in Memphis, Tennessee, in the home state of our president, Dr. Gina Stewart. We will be celebrating, we'll be continuing to pray, we'll be doing mission blitzes, I guess that's a plural, and hovering over that town and the needs of the people there in order to continue to spread the love, continue to spread the joy, continue to spread the help that is needed in the local place and space. So during the rest of the year, we're here online. We're here every first, well, we're here on every first Thursday of every month for the Lott Carey WISE Digital Couch, where we speak to our members at certain points in the time, our lay leaders, our pastors, our global partners, about the work that they are doing. We are here also on the first day of every month. So the first day of every month at 6:30 in the morning, we are on again a free conference call, and you can get that information if you go to lottcarey.org, lottcarey.org. You can get that information. And then there are also smaller groups that we work on throughout the year. We just celebrated our third annual Jumping for Justice celebration that was phenomenal in Fountain Baptist Church, and that was amazing. So please look to get involved and look to participate in how you can, as we say, come alongside communities in order to improve their lives, in order to improve our own life, in order to have us remind us that we should be grateful for that which we have, and to do what we can to make the lives of others just a little bit better. So I thank you so much, Sister Terry. If you want to
Thank
give
you.
a final word, a final comment, a final blessing to other people, we love it.
I would just say, Lott Carey, and especially Women in Service Everywhere, if you've not engaged in this ministry, it is definitely worth your time. And especially if you're at the level where you believe God is calling you to do more, to be more international in your service, this is definitely the place to start. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to stay right where you are. I want to say good night to everyone here, but please, please, please remember, if you are a part of the Lott Carey world, then you know we are getting ready. The registration is open. It has been open. If you're trying to actually be in the place, please go on lottcarey.org and do your registration. We will see you in Memphis. We will see you here this June. So we have actually 2 more Lott Carey WISE Digital Couch conversations in the next couple of weeks. So please set your notifications. If you're a part of our Facebook group, please be a part of the Facebook group, the Lott Carey WISE Facebook group. Join that way. If not, stay tuned and subscribe to the Lott Carey TV YouTube channel, and you will see this information come up. If you want to participate, again, please drop your information in the chat. Connect with us. You know Sister Terry, connect with her. You know Dr. Angelita, connect with her. We're all trying to do the Lord's work, and that's what we're here to do. So peace and blessings. We will see you all on the next conversation. All right. Good night to everyone.
Good night.